All right, rolling.
It's
We're
going.
doing a podcast.
Doing a podcast.
We're doing a podcast.
Podcast numero uno.
So
we'll laugh about this in a few weeks.
Oh, for sure.
A year or so.
We'll be looking back on this laugh. So for everyone, thanks for joining us for the first ever Hoboken Half and Half is what we're calling it. We've been talking about this for a few months, and we said let's just shoot one and let's record one and have some fun. That's Hoboken Half and Half. It's half real estate market in Hoboken, half community information and hot topics in Hoboken. Roley and I both live here, work here. We're raising our families here, selling real estate here. So we figure we're talking about it all the time. Let's record it and let's put it out and see if it helps anybody get to learn about Hoboken a little bit.
See where it goes. And hopefully I'll get some insight, especially someone trying to learn the area. So like my journey here started in 2002 or 3, which is crazy to think about. Because like now with Dom's closing, I'm like,
you took one of my things I wanted to talk about.
But I was like, it's like, sorry, but I've been going to Dom's for 20 years. I was thinking about that over the weekend. I'm like, that can't be possible.
It's crazy.
I'm not old enough to have been going somewhere for 20 years. That's closing.
What I realized the other day, which was really nuts, is we were at a Rutgers game with the boys. I think I was telling you about this maybe when we took the boys to a game, and I'm sitting there, I'm looking at them, and I'm going, those players are 12 years older than my kids, and they're 23 years younger than me.
Right.
I was like, talk about like getting old, but
it's wild.
Dom's was there for 100 years.
Yeah.
I mean, that place was an institution, and what makes me sad is watching them go one by one, like Giorgio's.
Yes.
And now, like, I'm just waiting for the next one to close, and it's like it's a tough thing. I love the new businesses that come into town, but like, it's really nice to have some old ones here too.
Yeah, like the mom and pop shops. That's a huge part of the charm in Hoboken. And like I used to go there. My first place was at 408 Monroe. I moved in with 2 friends, Doozer, Debo, one of them who's now a teacher here at Hoboken High School.
That's awesome.
And so I used to go there, get my bread in the morning for the meat chilies, but Sunday sauces. Used to go to Antique.
Yep.
So at first I was like, I lost that bread place, but now I love Antique. Like I love Antique.
That's the good thing about this time, right? So like when you're kind of going about your life in this town over 20 years, 10, 5, 50 years, whatever it is, like good things come, good things go, but like then also things come together. So like Antique Bakery is a really cool example of that.
The place is amazing. I'm so glad it's here. And now I just need to find the next place that's going to get me bread. So when I make sauce on a Sunday, I have some good bread.
Right. Well, Lisa's still carries bread from, I think, the Antique that moved to Jersey City because they still make bread over there. And a couple other local places as well. So Lisa's is always my go-to for that stuff. But jump in, let's do it in the half of community in Hoboken first, right? So half and half is obviously a play on, we got the Lipton Tea Building, we got Maxwell House, we have Cafe Busto, who roasts right over here still. We smell right in our office all the time. It's really awesome. So it's a coffee-centric and tea-centric place. So half and half is a play on that. Half community, half real estate market. So Dom's closing is one of the things I wanted to talk about. What else you seen in town right now? What are you guys up to? What are you liking? What's on top of mind for the family and for you and Lori?
Yeah, I mean, there's so much that I like. But like, I was just having a conversation with a buddy of mine, Steve, and I was like, what we haven't done, I haven't done in a long time, and I'm like, we need to get some dads together. And I don't care, it's the front bar or the back lounge, but I haven't sat down at O'Neill's in forever.
Yeah,
O'Neill's. And I say either side because you're solid. Like the best burger, bar food, love burgers. They're awesome. Right there. Yep. I think the best burger in Hoboken. Yep. Awesome bartenders. They make great drinks. The ambiance is awesome.
Cozy place.
And then the back room is so chill.
Yeah.
There's the music, the everything back there. And the first time I went there and actually ate a sit-down meal, I was like blown away.
Yeah.
You look at it from the outside, you're like, dive bar.
Yeah.
You're like, it's just a local cool bar. And I sat there and I was like, oh man. So like this has been a conversation for a couple of weeks. I'm like, we got to get together, watch a game, sit in the back room. If it doesn't work out, we'll just get a burger. And the other place that I get the same feel from is Carpe Diem.
Yeah, right across the street here.
Yeah.
Very convenient having that.
Like 2 of my favorite places. Great wings, great food. I can sit at the bar and have a great time.
Yeah.
And awesome ambiance in the back room, sit at the fireplace.
It's funny you say that about Carpe, right? Red and I got a sitter, like I think it was right before Christmas, something like that, and we went out to dinner. I don't even remember where we had dinner at this point, but we were at the Carpe after, and we saw like 4 different people we knew.
All right.
And I was like the quintessential, like Hoboken, Friday night out, a bunch of different people that you know in town, and you got to see them and like just have a good time. Like we were sitting at the bar having a drink, and then like people were walking by, 5 minutes, the conversation here, 10-minute conversation there. It was just such a cool, I think, vibe. Like what Hoboken's about is like on some of those nights out, which if you're younger, don't have kids yet, you're doing it more often. But then time goes by and you get busy with kids and stuff like that. Like it's tough to do. So it is. It's a thing that we got to purposefully do sometimes, I think, and find an excuse to do things.
Yeah. So it's like I try to do like if we can a dad's happy hours, and I just try to get people together, get us out of our routines, and so O'Neill's is happening in my near future.
Awesome.
I'm always down for carpet.
Watch out for the text invite.
Yeah. I did actually clients of mine, Brian and Carla, they're in the T building. We're getting ready to buy. They're like, let's go chat. So we were just at Urban Coal House. I was like, yeah, this is good food. Like I haven't been here in a bit.
Urban Coal House, talk about burgers. They have good burgers too.
Yeah.
Not many people think about it. For that pizza place, obviously, they have a very good burger menu. They have 4 or 5 good burgers.
So it'll be in my near future. A burger at Urban.
Their wings are fantastic too.
Yeah.
Where did we just get really good? This is going to become a food podcast.
Yeah, I just had great wings. My kids play soccer down by Blue Eyes on Sinatra. So we're there Thursday night, me and my buddy Corey, and we're just like, it's cold. We're not going to sit here for an hour and a half and watch soccer. Let's go get some barbecue. And it was like happy hour. So we went to House of Q and had some wings. And I'm like, oh my God, the smokiness, the flavor. It was awesome, on point.
Absolutely.
I was like, I need more of this in my life.
You can't go wrong with some smoked wings.
No.
Speaking of which, one thing I was thinking about a lot this week with just Hoboken like community stuff was, did you guys sign up for baseball? The email that came out over the weekend? Bro, I missed it by like a day. It was like a 4-day open window. Yeah. And like 500 spots were filled. We're on the wait list.
All right. Which, it'll all work out.
We'll probably get in, right? But like the thing I liked about that was like, damn, there's a lot of kids.
Yeah. And tennis goes like that. Tennis is like such high, like once that comes out, if you're not like within seconds, you're pretty much on a
So those rec emails, if you can't mess around with them,
no,
they come out. So this is all stuff. Rolly's kids are a couple years older than mine, so like I'm catching up from behind here. Bryson was his first year that he's eligible for it, and Bradley was moving into the new thing with like the actual games.
Right.
And like, damn, I like don't remember having to be that quick last time, but it's like 500 between the different time zones and age groups. So it had to be 500 spots and gone 24 hours.
Yeah, yeah. We were talking about that. I remember a friend was messaging Morgan. I was like, what happened? I think it's locked out. And I think they had a challenge. So I think there might have been just a glitch in there too. Because we were talking about it Friday night and Saturday.
They had sent the email out early on Thursday, but they didn't open it until Friday night. So then I was trying to do it for like a day and a half, not realizing that. Yeah. So
5 o'clock on Friday night, you want us to be like ready to go.
Right. I've got a million things going on at that time. Then the weekend's there. It's like boom, we're a million things, but that's a cool thing here too. Like Riley really got into soccer this year with the rec department, and like these things are like $30 or $40 for the whole season. Yeah, so
they're phenomenal.
If you miss half the games and you got a crazy life and a million things going on, like you're still like ridiculously well priced and great program.
Yeah, we've been doing it for a few years now. I coached Tyler's rec team. I've assistant coached Lucy's right now. Lucy's doing rec basketball, so this is the first year with that, which has been like so awesome. Cool. Like the vibe you get in the arenas, it's so small. Yeah. Right. So you have everyone's parents there. You got siblings, friends usually stay and watch their friends for a game or two.
That's cool.
So you have like this. I was not expecting like, oh, we're just going to be in this hot gym. No, this is awesome. The vibe there, it's packed. Everyone's into the game. Yeah. So much fun.
Energy's awesome. That's something else you guys put us onto this year was the Stevens soccer games.
Yep.
And we popped in. There happened to be a basketball game going on at the same time. And they're like, that's a legit basketball game. Yeah, it's D3 school, but like for the kids, they were pumped. They were watching the game real close, high speed, like bodies banging. Like
it's an atmosphere. Fun. It was a legit playoff series. They went to the Final Four after that, or the Elite Eight after that.
That was them going to the Elite Eight, and then 2 days later they advanced to the Final Four. Yeah, that was a lot of cool. So like a couple hundred people watching, but the energy was cool.
Energy was awesome, and we get the same thing. We'll randomly. So my kids love Lucy and Tyler love soccer, they're so into it, and like the girls and the high school teams have quality soccer programs, and we'll just be like, oh, why don't we just go watch the game and like. That's cool. Let's go bring Lucy, and we'll go and some of the friends and go watch.
Hidden gems, man. Like I've been in Hoboken for 14 years, never thought about going to a team.
Yeah, it's like a thing you think you do in the suburbs. Like, oh, we're gonna go get in the car, and no, you're actually gonna go to carpe diem, and then we're gonna go to watch the football game or watch the basketball game or whatever. Like
really cool.
It's like, yeah, why don't we take advantage of these things? They're all walkable. They're right there. The kids are into it, and it's actually like great education for the kids because you learn. You're actually professional in either college. You're learning bad habits, and you're not playing to that level yet. So you're kind of seeing kids your age play, and you're like, oh, I get that. Like I can relate to them. Like they're my age. That's where I can be. Like this is how we play.
Learn those bad habits from the NBA where they just stand around shoot threes all day. You're watching kids actually hustle and play hard.
Yeah, and like you can't press and rec. And you're watching pros or play video games. You're pressing. Right. So like they see the kids walk the ball up, pass the ball around. It's a great education for them, and then they're starting to get in like with the vibe of the school, and they're getting that pride. And I go to Hoboken, cool. And then they can start seeing themselves like, oh yeah, I want to be on the varsity team. So it's like there's so much into it, and then it's fun. Yeah, like bring a road soda and you watch the game.
Exactly. People I've heard a few people describe this town as one big wine glass.
Yes.
So that's definitely something that gets interactive. And they're all different aspects of it. It's a social place and it's an alcohol-driven place sometimes. Yeah. It doesn't have to be.
Yeah, not in a bad way, but it's like hey, we're walking around. We're not hopping into cars.
Right. Exactly right.
Throw it in your Yeti and move on.
That's good. Another good perk about living in a walkable pedestrian place. Yeah, you don't have to worry about that. That's sweet. So speaking of that, that's another good transition. I saw an email today about something that's coming up that used to be a big part of my life and now is something I hide from, the St. Patty's Day Leprechaun Bar Crawl. And they were voting, and I don't think it happened this year, but I hope it happens next year. And they keep trying. They're voting to bring the actual parade back.
Awesome.
Yeah. Did you see that last year?
I know, like I see it, and I definitely hope it comes back.
Me too. So if you're not familiar with the Hoboken St. Patty's Day situation, a little quick primer on it is like, was it 40 years ago almost now, 1980s, they started the parade, and it quickly became like a crazy party day in Hoboken.
It did.
It might have got a little out of control at certain years, and so they shut it down in 2000.
And the city was to blame for it.
Yeah.
So the city markets a lot out of it.
Yeah.
They add extra bus lines. They do nothing to control this. Like
that was the big issue. They didn't bring in
extra
extra
crowd control.
We're
just going to punish you all because we didn't have the foresight to see what would happen.
Yep. So then the city thing is like the debauchery still happens. Now the city's not prepared for it. They still come in on the first Saturday and do Leprechaun Day. Yeah. We don't get the parade anymore.
And my kids don't get to watch the parade.
Right. Yeah. So like I'm hoping that they can. Last year I was really excited. After almost 10 years, it was 9 years. They had somebody, I think the Hoboken Rotary Society or Business Alliance or one of those things. Yeah. Put out like a big push to try to bring the parade back. Put out a survey, a poll, and I don't think it got enough traction last year. But hopefully this year, like going into next year, they're able to do that because that was such a cool thing.
I loved it.
Yeah, it was great energy. And look, if it's too crazy and it's not something you're into, like you just leave town for the day. Yeah, go visit some friends in the burbs.
Indoors, do something. Exactly. Yeah, but it's it definitely could be controlled properly. I mean, even from simple things. I just never. How do you not have porta potties like on Washington Street? Right. Like this is a challenge. So like make the bars put X amount outside their business. Yeah. Like there's ways to do this instead of just like I'm just going to punish all of you because of a few knuckleheads. Right. But I'd love to have my kids go to the parade. It's a great time. Yeah. I think it can be worked out. Like Lori and so many of my friends were bartenders when we first lived here. Like that's like cash cow for them. Like rents are insane here.
Well, that was the other thing. Like the bars were willing to pay like a premium to be open those days and stuff like that to help support like the cleanup and the setup for it.
Yeah, they gave money back, and people that came went to other businesses. Yeah.
And the Halloween parade is so awesome here. The Memorial Day parade is so awesome here. Like the Christmas show they do. So like there's all these other cool ones. Like there should be a way to I know this St. Patty's is always focused around drinking, so it creates inherent problems just with the holiday itself. But like I feel like we can manage it. I'm happy to see at least the discussion is happening.
Yeah, hopefully it gets back. It's good for everyone. It's good for families. It's good for the businesses, whether it's the bar or surrounding businesses, and it can be done in an organized fashion.
I agree. Well, speaking of craziness, let's transition to the other half.
All right.
This real estate market.
It is like what is it's wild, it's bonkers, it's insane. Like I get asked this question every day, all day, and I'm glad.
This is timely, right, too, because like it's been weird for the last few months with interest rates going up and no inventory in the market, holiday season, slowest time of the year for this market usually. So like all those things kind of shut down and like they're very low transaction volume. Be like, oh, what's going on? But, like there were no listings, so the prices were just kind of staying flat.
Yeah.
Well, all the people that said they were waiting for the spring came back this weekend.
They did.
Like
they did.
literally this weekend.
They came back, I think, even in November.
They came back in drips and
December
drabs.
was the busiest. November and December.
I agree with that.
I can recall
actually.
happening.
You're right. They came back more quietly though.
Yeah.
Until this last week, like there were multiple offers, but one or two.
Yeah.
There was places moving in the first week or two, but now like we're seeing literally 10x the amount of showings and open house flow, and we're seeing something that just had one or two offers and stayed around asking get 10 offers, and like every phone call we make to a listing agent is how many offers are there? How many offers are there? How many
wins highest and best.
Yeah, wins highest and best. When 2 weeks ago in December, November, October, all the way through the fall, really, it was like really awesome stuff was moving with multiple offers, but like some stuff was kind of sitting or going for asking. So it seems like from where I sit and what I see, like it is going to be a straight appreciation in the spring until more inventory hits the market and maybe things level. But what are you seeing? What are your buyers saying? What are your sellers saying?
So it's been, so like a lot of my buyers, like we've been talking, working, going back, it could be 8 months, a year, 6 months. And we've been just following this and figuring this out. And it's challenging because the headline, real estate is so local. And even in Hoboken, like different price points and buildings they react differently, and there's different climates for them. So it's like really hard, I think, for a buyer out there or even a seller to look at it, hear the headlines, and it's like, all right, what's going on? And it's like, well, we're in mastermind groups, and like we're 1,000 agents on a Zoom call. I remember when things first started getting a little interesting, and there was an agent in San Francisco, and she was like, got me a little nervous. I was like, all right, your open house was dead. I'm not used to that yet. I was like, all right, I'll pay attention to this. I'm like, but there's 999 other people on this call. And everyone else was like, it was a little slower, but it was good. Like, we're doing business. And now fast forward to like 3 weeks ago, and everyone's like, I'm multiple offer city again. Yeah. So I feel like everyone kind of got their footing, right? Like there was enough time to go in, pay attention to what's going on. There's so many good programs right now in Hoboken and downtown Jersey City, and a lot of our surrounding area, and where our clients are moving to is protected by 7-year arms, 10-year arms, jumbo rates where we're seeing 5, 5.1 to 5 1/4. So very aggressive, solid rates. When I started in real estate 15, 16 years ago, a good rate was like 6.75 to 7 1/4.
Right. Yep. So it was shocked. It was shocked. People. Like it went from 3 to 7. Yeah. That's a big move. Yeah. You know, and that's uncertainty. Like, what is that going to create? Is that going to create a market that falls apart? Yeah. Is that going to create depreciating assets? Is that going to create falling prices on homes? And I think the mixture that froze everybody. It did freeze everyone. And I was talking about that. We have a seller freezing. Buyers froze everybody. Yep. And then I think once people realize, like, all right, the world's not falling apart. Looks like the soft landing thing is somewhat going to come into play. We're not going to have some big economic meltdown. Maybe a slight recession, maybe not. Like somewhere in that, we're in that range. It seems like that's real. Now people are saying, all right, well, the rate's 5%. Right. So what can I afford with 5%? I need a new home. I think it's 7 for 10 years. I can refi or move this product. Right. So I'm comfortable. I know my budget. I know where I am. Now the challenge is like, where is the value in upsizing or downsizing? Can I make this work? Because I bought a house X amount of years ago. Yep. It appreciated. Like I paid a premium. It also appreciated, but I had a insane rate. So like, can I make that spread work where it makes sense for me to move? Yeah. And I think our clients here are seeing that in the suburbs as inventory is really tight there. Yeah. That's really where that upsize downsize is a challenge. I agree. That's the big question I have that's going to drive, I think, the next year is like, how much loosening in the suburbs do we see? Where are those people going? Are people moving to Florida? Are they moving to like the West Coast? Are they moving to Texas still? Like, is that where apparently Jersey is net losing population? Right. It doesn't feel like it because there's no inventory in the burbs for people to move to. There's no inventory here because no one has anywhere to move to. Mm-hmm. People are getting relocated here for work. I get calls every week about it. So like this net loss, like it's happening somewhere, not around here and not based on how much available inventory there is. So is there going to be anything inventory wise that's going to allow pricing to kind of stabilize? I'm not even thinking about going down, it's stabilizing, right? And the big question is like, what happens with the rental market? Because right now, so many people that did move used to get $4,000 a month for their place. Maybe that was a little bit under what their mortgage was, but all of a sudden that jumped to $5,000 over the last 12 months.
Yeah.
So now people are like, why not rent it?
Yeah.
So we have so many more rentals that happened, but still so much even more demand. So there's no sell inventory because it doesn't make sense to sell your place when you're making $100,000 a month cash flow on something that's easy to manage.
Yeah.
So that's the big question: is do we see that rental market soften? Maybe some of these landlords are deciding, all right, now let's sell the property, and we loosen up this market, and it becomes more optionality for people.
Yeah, I guess the landlords have to look in, like, where's the capital gains make sense? Like, how old is our high-end items, like a boiler to replace? Where's it going to make sense to move? Where it's going to cost too much money and keep it? But I just don't see, for at least 3 to 5 years, inventory eating up, becoming available for like two reasons. Like during lockdowns, people locked into 18, 24-month leases.
Yeah.
So they ate up inventory. And now they're either trying to stay where they are, or they're getting priced out and they're trying to buy a home, or it's been so competitive the last 2 years, you have to offer 18 months, 24 months.
Yeah.
So many people are locked in for so long.
Definitely.
Sellers have sold off, investors sold off, so rental inventory became owner-occupied inventory. So it's at least 3 years away till it softens and a product just becomes available.
Agreed. Yeah, and there's no new build, right?
Yeah.
I mean, we're sitting back here in the northwest side of Hoboken, where there will eventually be some development over the years. There's so much locked up though with litigation and fighting over what the redevelopment plan is. Like that's 5 years out, minimum, right? Like there's a commercial building going up and a little bit of stuff, but like nothing, no major inventory to hit the market in Hoboken or Jersey City, quite frankly, either. It's a weird dynamic, I think, and I think it's the year of, we talked about this past few weeks from buyers, right? It's like make some concessions and change your location by a town or two, or your price point, or how many bedrooms you want, or will you do some work to the place over a few years and move in and then do a kitchen in a year, make that concession, or are you willing to kind of be at a 10-person bidding war when the perfect property comes on, because that's what everyone's waiting for, or can you park for a year or two? Right? Are you cool to sit where you're at, either if you own the home and you could not need to move and not out, and you can make do with the space, or can you sit and like renew that lease and hang on a year or two and wait to see what kind of opens up? And those are really the options. Unfortunately, it's not a great time to be a buyer. It's a great time to be a seller. Name your price again. It seems like, at least for now.
Yeah, name your price within reason. You have to have a great product. If you don't have a great product, you need to be at or below market price. You still, like, if you're way above, you're going to say
there is still a level where you could sit at.
Yeah, you have to be strategic and smart with the pricing, the marketing.
We saw that a couple places that were, even on the rental market when it was super hot, like, all right, if it was 4 and now it's 5 and you try for 6, there's a limit to everything. Yeah. Right? Like, so it's all within reason. But as long as you're in that place where things are trading,
just stay right around that line of market value, and you're in a good position. Just make sure it looks great and shows great. But yeah, I was saying with Mike and Megan and a couple other people on the team, I was like, and I've noticed it for about a year or so, and they brought it up after their open houses at the T-Building after the weekend. Like, have you ever noticed so many people from downtown Jersey City looking at Hoboken? Yeah. They're all trying to get out of those rental buildings, and they're trying to take advantage of a great school system. That's like the two takeaways I get. They're like, we hear school system's great, and we don't want to rent. Our rent went up 30%. Our rent went up X. We want to lock in.
And I think a big part of that move too, and it's something that definitely has accelerated, but it's been happening over the last 5 years, where people move to Jersey City because they're coming out of the city, and they're like, "Ooh, this is more like the city." And then they're like, well, I kind of like this area. I want to stay here longer, but that Hoboken spot has more like of a calm, like longer term, less city, but still accessible, more community feel. So it's like that's the transition that we see. And now with the raising rent prices over there, and you're not dealing with condo owners, you're dealing with rental buildings who are just like, how much can we raise it and let's go. So that accelerated even more, and we've seen that, like in Hudson T, where we live. Like we've seen the push of Jersey City buyers coming in there for the last few years now. They're all just like people transplants who never knew this area in the city, popped into Jersey City and learned about Hoboken and that kind of whole dynamic.
Yeah.
And it's going to just continue to accelerate.
It
And that's
is.
going to do one because there's no more building. It's price pressure.
Yeah.
It's going to provide price pressure.
And that's why we're not seeing, I think, so you are seeing people flee Jersey, but it's where because the people, our sellers are going to take advantage of those people fleeing Jersey, but the people coming here are fleeing Brooklyn and Queens and Manhattan for a number of reasons, and they're just protecting us and protecting our home values and our inventory. So, it's low inventory. So if you're looking at metrics and you're looking at inventory and amount of sales, you're going to come to a conclusion most likely that the market is softening.
Yeah.
But that's not the metric to look at. You have to look at days on market, sale, list price to closing ratios, and that's where you're going to see. And we're staying at and above asking still. We're 99, 98, 8, 100+% of asking price still.
Sure.
So we are strong.
Yeah.
We're in a good position. It's you just need someone to get into a home. We have a list of people, and like my conversations have been great with them. They are, and like they get it. They're like, okay, we sat through this. We know what we can get. We know what the market is. We have a game plan now. Find us a place.
That's it. That's what we spent a lot of time doing, right? I think you were the one that coined it. It's going to be the year of the off-market deal a little bit too.
Yeah.
Because we have so many buyers who know what they want. They're very clear on it.
Yep.
And we have so many sellers who are kind of stuck and they can't list their properties. They're not sure where they're going to go yet. So if there's opportunities to match those two people together, provide some flexibility, provide some terms that make sense and both sides can take advantage of, that's what's going to really allow the market to keep moving without having to officially list their home and be like, where do I go?
Yeah.
Right. So I think that's one thing that we're seeing. And we're also, I think it's the year of, at least the spring of, being able to pretty easily dictate your use and occupancy terms if you're a seller.
Yeah.
I think,
and that ties into the off market.
3 or 4 in a row now that sellers are like, hey, I want to sell. I'm going someplace in 3 or 4 months, or I have tenants who have known 3 or 4 months and I need to leave them in place, or whatever the case may be. And so far, I think we're 3 for 3 and about to be 4 for 4 with buyers being totally cool with that and finding a way to extend their lease a few months or whatever.
They have to be. There's no inventory.
Yeah, there's a lot of rent backs. A lot of rent backs, a lot of use and occupancies where the sellers are staying in place. So we'll see what tomorrow brings, because this is a world that changes quickly. But I think right now it's all things point towards a very busy and strong spring season. Yeah,
it's going to be busy. It's going to be strong. The off market, like just being creative, matching like our buyers to these sellers, like sellers to the buyers. Like, how can we put you together to make this work so you can find your house in the suburbs or at a state and you can stay there. You don't have to stress out. We'll give you time. You can get the house you want. We can lock your rate in. We can make everything work. So it's not just look at the MLS and let's go. You're already way too late at that point. And so we have to be so creative with our marketing and our conversations before anything even happens, because we have to match people together and like we know their needs. We know your needs. Like, let's get you guys married.
I agree. I mean, kind of put a pin in it. I think it's the most important time ever to work with somebody who knows the market, right? Like we don't work outside of our marketplaces. I'm not going to do someone a disservice and chase them all around. We have agents who work these other markets because they're the experts there and they're on our team for that exact reason. They work there, we work here, we all work together kind of symbiotically. But like, if you don't have somebody who knows what's coming inventory wise or has some sellers in their pocket that are waiting to sell us for the right moment, or on the other side, you don't have the buyers that you know exactly where they are, and you're going to have to wait to put it on the market and then see what happens with how many offers come in and where you're moving, what the timing looks like, and you can't match something up. It's going to be a frustrating year to be a buyer or seller.
It is. Yeah. If you're a realtor just waiting for the MLS, it's done. Like, I have close to 15 people that I'm making conversations with, sending letters for, talking about everyone. Every day I get asked numerous times, how's the market? Market's great. I have someone that wants this. Do you know someone that wants to sell this?
Yeah. We're starting to put
we'll make the terms work.
I love it, man. That's cool. So this is the first episode. I think we can get close to wrapping it up here. Roley and I can ramble all day. I just had a coffee and I got caffeine in me, so like I can go for hours. But Roley, anything to close up with? Anything to wrap up with? And we can let the first episode come to an end. Yeah, no, I think we're good. I think it's more than ever. Who you work with now matters. How you market, what you're doing behind the scenes matters. It's going to be. I'm not going to
give a 12-year forecast, but I think we got to stay in smart increments, understand the market, where we are, and then just hope Philly loses the Super Bowl.
Amen. Let's go, Pat Mahomes, you warrior. That's okay. So one more thing we can wrap up with now that you bring that up. We're coming home Sunday night.
Oh God!
And we're pulling up 15th Street, and we look up, and everyone goes, "Oh look, the Empire State Building's green and white for the Eagles." And I go, "Man, that's a coincidence."
My phone,
I was like, "No chance."
WhatsApp, text chains, everything. Like,
wake up the next
I
morning.
don't hope the person wasn't fired, but I hope they were relocated to another position.
Wake up the next morning and find out that's all real. Like was purposeful. I can't believe it.
Yeah, I refused to look out my window.
I can't believe it.
I wouldn't look until the Chiefs game was over.
And so I think that was done on purpose by someone who lived there, who worked there. But there is some weird thing I've heard. Well, I know one person that can do this, and there's multiple other people, and they won't tell me who, and I can't disclose their name because I don't want them to go to jail. You can people hack the Empire State Building colors. Really? I was at a party once in the building, and someone was like, "Check this out. What color you want the Empire State Building to be?" What? I was like, "What are you kidding me?" They're like, "What color?" Red. Boom, made it red.
Oh wow.
What color you want now? Blue. Boom, made it blue. So I don't know if someone got control.
Yeah.
Like I don't know if there's.
I think it was done intentionally, but it was an awful mistake. Don't ever do it again.
I can't believe that. I can't believe that.
There's like certain things you don't do. Like God forbid Boston ever is in this position. Like, don't do Boston's colors.
I'm a Jets fan, so I don't hate the Eagles as much as everybody else. I still don't like the Eagles a lot. If you're an Eagles fan, we'll still help you buy or sell, by the way. But if
Mike on our team's from Philly.
Yes, we have a Philly fan actually on our team, so we don't discriminate. But we're not going to root for your team, and we're not going to light up our colors.
Well, you can trust us. We're honest. We're upfront.
A real team player. All right, man. Good time.
All right, it was fun.
This was fun.